Hello everyone, in this video we are going to see about the deadlock detection. Okay, so here the last videos we have seen the methods of deadlock avoidance and prevention. So now this is called the Banker's algorithm, which is used to detect any deadlock that occurred in the system. This is mainly used in the case of multiple resources. Okay, so when you have multiple instances of the resources, in that case we are using the Banker's algorithm. And why the name Banker's algorithm is, without a bank having any deposit in it, it cannot donate, it cannot give us a loan to the customer. Okay, so that is what the name comes here. Here what is the implication is, if there are no resources in the reserve, this cannot be granted to the any processes. So that is a resemblance they are saying about the how the name Banker algorithms has come into existence. Okay, so now this is mainly work for multiple instances, and each process can claim maximum use of its resources, and then when a process requests a resource, it may have to wait so that it can acquire all the resources. Okay, and now when a process gets all its resources, it must return to them in a finite amount of, that means after the process is over, it has to return back to the resource pool. So that is the assumption of this algorithm. And then let us see what is the data structures used in the algorithm. So you are using n is the number of processes and m is the number of resource types. Okay, and then we have four data structures here. Available is n vector. So vector is a one-dimensional array, and maximum is an matrix which is of n by m, and then allocation is another matrix of n by m size, and then need is equal to n by m matrix. Here the need is equal to max minus allocation. Actually what is maximum is, the maximum available resources is called maximum, and what is the allocation is already allocated to the existing process, and what is needed is which is needed more. So maximum what is needed for the particular process, and already how much is allocated will be the remaining, which is the need that is in the future. So that is the formula. Need is equal to maximum minus allocation of I comma j. Okay, now let us see this example. So this is an example of Banker's algorithm. We have 5 processes starting from P0 to P4, and resources are of 3 types, A, B and C, and we have the 10 instances of resources A, and then B of 5 instances and C of 7 instances. These are the total available instances. That we can. So this is the number of so this is at a unit of time, at a snapshot of, because as the time varies, the process also keeps on acquiring and releasing the resources. So this is at one time interval, which is of time t naught. This is the snapshot of the process scenario. Okay, now let us see the example. How now we have seen that need is equal to max minus allocation. So we have seen max is this value and allocation this value. We have to subtract this matrix from this matrix. So 750 minus 010 is 743, 322 minus 20, that is what subtracted and given over here. Okay, so we have subtracted and we have given the need matrix. So this is the need matrix which got from the maximum minus allocation matrix. Is just a matrix subtraction only, simple matrix subtraction only. So we have got this need matrix. So why you have to calculate this need matrix is, based on the need matrix only, how much we are going to acquire for the coming processes, is it available or not. If it is available, we can allocate. If not, it has to wait for some time till other processes release the resources. So by this we will be able to find out a safe state. What is the safe state is, every process can be processed in any order, but it should be safe enough that every process can acquire maximum of its resources what is needed. So that sequence is called as a safe sequence. Here you can say, even though the process is P0 to P4, now the sequence here is P1, P3, P4, P2 and P0. This is one sequence in scenario. That's always not only one sequence, there will be many sequences. So one sequence is taken for example to say this is the safe sequence. Now we have to prove how the sequence is safe. For that we have to solve some problem. Okay, just I have given the solution for the problem. This is the allocation matrix and this is the maximum available, and this is the available matrix, available number of resources. This is the maximum needed resources. This is already allocated resources. As you have seen in the formula, need is equal to max minus allocation. As I told you, it is a simple matrix subtraction. 753 minus 010 is 743. 322 minus 200 is 122, 902 minus 302 is 600, and then 222 minus 211 is 011, and 433 minus 002 is 431. So this is the subtraction matrix that got from the max minus allocation, which is given in the problem under consideration. Now I already told you m is equal to 3, the resources A, B, C, and n is the number of processes P0 to P4. Okay, and now we are going to determine the safe sequence. That is our aim of this algorithm, how to determine the safe sequence. And initially we allocate work is equal to available. So whatever is available will come to work. So that is the formula, work is equal to avail. So every time we take one process, we have to check the need of the process. If that need is satisfied, then that process can proceed. So that is the process of this algorithm. So first we have to check first need is equal to need of 0. What is need of 0? 743 is the need of 0. So we have to check if need is less than work. What is work? Work is actually here avail, which is 332. So I have to check 743, which is the need, which is less than 332. So here you have to check for each and every element. 7 is less than 3, no. Then 4 is less than 3, no. So 3 is less than 2, no. So everything here is need is more but available is less. That means we cannot proceed with this process P0. So P0 cannot proceed. We can put this way. Now, so we can assume, we can conclude that P0 cannot proceed. Now we have to go for the next process P1. For the next process P1, what is the necessity? 122. So 122 is necessity. What is the availability? 332. So availability is more, necessity is less or equal. In this case, 2 and 2 is equal, so we can also allocate. So necessity is less but available is more. That means this P1 can proceed. So we can say that, just I have given a tick to say that P1 can proceed. So P1 can proceed. So after the P1 can proceed, we have to add the allocated resources for this P1 to the existing resources, available resources. So every time once the process is allocated, we have to add the available resources, which is the work, plus the allocated resources. Since we are considering P1, which is need 1, we have to add this value, allocation value. So we have to add 332 plus 200. So I have added and kept here. Now add work is equal to work plus allocation. So work is equal to 332 plus 200. The answer is 532. So 3 plus 2 is 5, 3 plus 0 is 3, and 2 plus 0 is 2. So now work is equal to 532. That means 532. Now after this P1 releases these resources, now this availability has become more now. Okay. So now let us see the next scenario, how the process works. So I just shown the calculation how the process works here. So this is the previous scenario we have taken, and this is 532 is the availability. So now I have to go with the next step, which is step 3. Okay. So going to the next step, what is the process here? This is, so work is 532, and then I have to just copy all the values from the previous matrix, which is the allocation matrix. All this matrix we have done before, and then we have to proceed with the next step, which is step 3. Okay. So we have to start with the step 3, and we have to proceed this way. So step 3 is, I have to copy the values from the previous one. Need of 2 is equal to 600. That is the, so this is need of 2 actually. Need of 2 is 600. So I am copying this. I am checking with this need with the work. Okay, if this need is less than work or greater than work. So if need is more, generally we can check either less than or greater than. If need is more and work is less, we cannot proceed. Okay, so that is the procedure. So now this way I can just assume that we can need is more but work is less. So since need is more, so I cannot proceed with this work. Okay, and then so I can just say that P2 cannot proceed. Now I have to go to the next one, which is P3. Okay, so next step is for P3. So now we have to check for this need 3. What is need 3? 0, 1, 1. What is the availability? 5, 3, 2. Okay, so we have to check for need is greater than W or need is less than W. So 0, 1, 1, which is greater than 5, 3, 2. So this is not the case. So need is less but work is more. That means we can have the process. That means we can allocate the resources to the process. When need is less, we can allocate the process. When need is more, I cannot proceed the process. That is the way we have to proceed that. So now it is, this particular thing is okay. Okay, actually here what I mean is that need is actually less but this availability is more. That means necessity is less only, so I can proceed with the process P3. Okay, so now process can go with P3. Actually this condition is false, but the concept is that is need is less, so I can proceed. So after this we have to check for W, we have to add the released resources from the previous allocation. So what is the available thing is 532. So 532 is the availability. I have to add the allocated resources for P3, which is in the previous slide. Okay, and it's actually 211. So this P3 releases this 211 process which is allocated for its initially. So now I have to add this available 532 to this 211 which is allocated for the process P3. Now the answer becomes 743, which means 743 is the available work now. Okay, so I have to go to the next step, which is for the last process P4, which is 431. I have to check whether this 431 is available to check with 743. So as we can see here, we can check for whether this 431 can be satisfied by this 743. Okay, yes, 7 is less than 4 and then 4 is less than 3 and 3 is less than 1. So now, actually the reverse case, 4 is less than 7, 3 is less than 4 and 1 is less than 3. That means need is less but available is more. That I can proceed. So I can say that I can proceed with the P4. So I have just to make a tick that P4 can be proceeded. Okay, so I can P4 can proceed. Now I can just make a, once you allocated something, you have to add the value. So how to add? Which available is actually the W is equal to W plus A. What is W? 743. Okay, so 743 is available, and now what is the allocated for P4 is in the previous slide it is 002. So I have to add with this 7, 4 and 5. Now 745 is the availability in this situation. Now here still the step 5, the process is over, but we know that P0 we cannot proceed earlier, so we have to go to the next step. Okay, so going to the next step, I have to go for the next calculation. I'll go for the next calculation. Actually what this calculation says is I have to proceed again from the previous process. Okay, so I completed till P0 to P4, that work is over. Now I know that there is some process left out which is not completed in the previous stage, that we can see here. P1 you can see here. Okay, P4, this is P0. Okay, this is actually P0, P1, P2, P3, P4. Initially P1 was not, P0 was not able to do, and also P2. So we have done P1, P3 and P4. Now we have to, now the resources are more after adding with the released resources. Now we have to repeat the process till every process get allocated the resources. So now I am to start with the process P0. So P0, the need is equal to 743. Okay, and now what is availability? 745. So that means this process can be given the resources 743, which is less than 745. So that means P0 can proceed. So now P0 can come in the sequence. Now finally what is left out? This P2 has to be considered. So again, what is the necessity of P2 is 600. Okay, so as usual we have done earlier, after allocating the resources to any process, we have to add W is equal to W plus A. So 745 was the previous one. Released from P0 is 0, 1, 0. This we can note from the allocation matrix, which is equal to 755. So 755 is the availability, which is the work now, and what is needed for P2, which is left out here now, 600. Okay. So we came across the sequence once, and then we are repeating a sequence for the next time to process these which is left out in the previous cycle. So P0 we have checked, we are able to process, so P0 can proceed. And now we are checking for the P2. So for the P2, what is the necessity? 600. Okay, so 600, but the available is 755. It is more than what needed, so I can proceed with the P2 also. So this is the order we have proceeded. Initially we have done 1, then we have done the process P1 we have done, then we have done P3 and then P4, and then we repeat the sequence again to get into the next step, which is the fourth in the order, and then finally we are able to do the last, which is the process number 2, which is the last in the sequence. So by this numbering I can write the save sequence. So what is the save sequences? P1 is done first, so copy P1 here. Next one, P3 is done second, so copy P3 here. Okay, and then third one is we are able to do P4, so copy here. Then we started the sequence. Then fourth we are able to do P0, so you have to write P0 here, and then finally we are able to write the next in the sequence, which is P2. Okay, last is the, so this is the save sequence. So P1, P3, P4, P0, P2 is the save sequence. That means these processes can be given the resources comfortably without any deadlock can occur. So this is the way the save sequence helps to detect any deadlock in the situation while the process is going on, and this Banker's algorithm helps in this way to solve the problem of deadlock. Okay, so this is how this Banker's algorithm works in order to get the problem solved. Okay, so now this is the next. So this is the whole scenario I have seen over here. All the sequences I have just explained before as a single slide, how the work started, initially how it was allocated, why it was not able to do, and then how it was able to proceed, and finally how it was able to see the save sequence. Okay, so this is how the program logic helps to find out the save sequence, and then finally we can say that, and just like that we can also keep on just requesting. If another request P1 comes for 1 or 2, how we can continue? We have to use the same procedure what we have done so far. Likewise, given any matrices of this type, available, need, and then maximum, allocated, need, and available, we can find the save sequence for any process which can be given over for any number of processes with multiple instances. Hope you understood the logic behind how this Banker's algorithm works, and thanks for watching.